Hello and welcome back. We are continuing where we're looking at our SQL and basically sort of our SQL tutorials and our our Python tutorials, and we're building our database synchronization Python script to focus on, pardon me, kick out of that, to focus on MySQL. This episode, I was going to continue looking at indices, depending on how you want to call it. But I want to start into stored procedures. And it's going to be, there's a few challenges there as well, but I want to get some of the basics. So we're going to start with missing procs. And we'll do it here. And we do missing procs.append. We'll do it there. We probably will do that. That's a good question. Do I want to do this as fixing it or not? I think what I want to do. Oh, because that was missing tables. But that's not what I want. I don't want missing tables. I want to do more like missing columns. Okay. So let's take that. Because what we're going to end up doing is same sort of thing we did with columns is we're going to, pardon me while I play around with this for a second and catch up. So we're going to call this missing procs and whoops. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go through each of these. Oh, and this is tables list. So, oops, it's not going to be like missing procedures. It's going to be like missing indexes. I should probably know what I'm doing first. Okay, so let's do it like missing indexes. There we go. Because what we're going to do is we're going to generate a list of one from one, and then we're going to generate a list from the others. So if this could be missing procedures, we'll just go ahead and call it, we'll do the whole word. We don't need a tables list. So we don't need that. So what we're going to do, whoops. Well, I'm just going to start coding because I need to start coding. Instead, I'm going to spend all day on this. So my procedure query, procs query. Now this one, as a reminder, if you do show procedure status, then that's going to get you all of your stored procedures. Now, what we can do is we can actually string this, we can simplify this down, and we're going to start playing around in the information schema. And it's a little better than just seeing what procedures are out there because we're going to actually grab some detailed information. So for these, we're going to come into our missing procedures and our query. It's going to look something like this. And equals, and we're going to do our C. We're going to do this. And so what we're going to do is we're going to get for our table. It's not our table. This is for our database. And so in this case, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to actually send it a database name. So this is going to be a little bit different from what we've done in the past. We could do it based off the database that's there. And it's just going to be interesting. How do we want to do it? Yeah, we probably want to do, let's see, this will be source name. Let's do source name and destination name. And it'll probably be the same, but that's okay. So let's actually go do our missing procedures back down here. We'll load this thing up. Missing indexes, there we go. Yeah, we probably want to wait till the, we'll probably do that beforehand. So let's do, start missing procedures. And we definitely don't want to sync rows on that, so let's not worry about it. So we're going to do missing procedures. And this one's going to be our source in our database. And in both of these, we're going to call it tutorial is the database. Because what we're going to end up with, if we don't do that, we're going to have every store procedure in the, not like that database, but the entire server, basically the database server. So it's going to cross databases. It's going to get into the MySQL system type stuff and things that we don't really want. So we're gonna have to trim this one down. And so it's going to be, we're going to actually have two of these. So I guess we'll call it, because they could be different databases. They usually aren't, but that's okay. And we're going to do the destination procs query. And this is going to be the source name. And this is going to be the destination name. And then we're going to execute those two. Let's see. So we're going to do, it's going to be source procs query. And this is going to be destination procs query. And then we want to, let's do this. We're going to call this source procedures, destination procedures. And we are going to have to, now from here, we're actually pulling the name. So we just, all we have to do is worry about names in this case. We already have the name. So we can actually do, let's see. And let's start with this. Let's just start with, let's see what exists in one and does not exist in the other, because that's going to be probably the better way to go. So first, let's see. So let's go for proc. Let's do proc name and source procs. So we're going to go through each of those, and then we're going to see if the name is not in, then we want to see if the name is not in the destination procs. Oh, so what we want to do, yeah, this is what we want to do. So we're going to say source names. And for proc name in there, because we want to do this quickly, so we're going to do source names.append. And then this is just going to be the proc name. And then we're going to do, oh, okay, so that's already good. So then we're going to walk through the destinations. And this will be, we'll call it destination name. And destination procs. And, oops, we actually want to go the other way. So we're going to find everything in destination. Oops. So it's going to be destination names. And then here we go. So for source name and source, it's got our source procs. Okay, source name in there. If, let's see, if source name is not in destination names, then we're just going to do it right now. We're just going to say print, whoops, boy, that is totally, I don't know, boy, that type of did not help very much. So need to create procedure, and then it's just going to be source name. I was just going to do each of those, walk through that. And we don't need missing procedures because we're not going to use that right now. We don't need that table at the end. And let's do that. Let's go ahead and run through this. Whoops, don't need that. And I'm going to quit afterwards. So let's work on that. Let's see where we're at. So if we do Python 3, what is this, main? Oh, we've got an invalid. Oh, because we forgot to do a plus. So let's go all the way back here. We're going to do plus. Wow. Okay. Oops. That's, oh, here we go. So here's what we want. Start missing procedures. And I've got another typo. Whoops. Right there. It had a little red that even told me that. Let's see what else we got. That's destination names. Let's see. Is there another little red? Oh, here we go. Return missing indexes. He doesn't need to return anything. And, oh, I still got a red up there. Oh, that's because it doesn't recognize those, but that should be okay. And it is not. Okay, so it's a tuple. So it's missing procedures. I already went past it, didn't I? Yes, I did. And so source name. So let's do this. Let's print proc name. Let's see what that looks like. And we're going to see here. Oh, interesting. Destination procs. That one, destination procs query. Let's print that because maybe we're not building that right. Okay, so now we're going to take that. And let's just go jump. Whoops. And then MySQL, use tutorial. Let's see. Does it give us what we need? It does. Okay, so it's giving us our names. So what is it not? Let me get back in over here. Let me run that again. And we start that, so we get our query, we get our SQL, which is here. We do a fetch all. Oh, it's not destination. Oh, yeah, that's right. Destination names is that. Destination procs is that. But it's not. So let's print destination procs. I don't think it's coming through right. Print dest procs. Cursor destination. He is going to do that. It's right. So let's see. It's empty. So. Oh, that's destination. Okay, which is right. So yeah, so destination should be empty. So now let's do here. I'm sorry. Of course, because I haven't pulled any over yet. So now if I do it, all right, so it's count rows, which is going to be a procedure. So for some reason, it is a tuple in each of those. Let's do it like this. Let's see if that's right. Yep. So what we want to do, I don't know why it's always giving us a tuple, but we're going to do source name 0. That should be proc name 0. And there we go. And source name 0. All right, let's do that. There we go. So we've gotten that far. So now what we do is we have a list of procedures we need to create. So what we're going to need is we need the source for each procedure. And then we're going to need the signature. Because if you remember, you have to do something like create procedure, proc name, as, and then there's some sort of like, there's probably some begin and an end, and then you have to execute all of that. So we need to get our source. Now let's take a look at that. And with that, we can get it from routine definition. So if we go look for each of those, and that'll probably get us through this one. Let's see. So instead of this, what we're going to need to do, oh shoot, it printed it on me. Let's do it this way. There. Let's move that comment up here. And what we're going to need to do for each of those is we're going to do, let's do source query equals. And then for each of these, we're going to do it where, and this is going to be from the source. So we're going to need, this is again going to be source name. And, whoops, and our table is going to be this guy here, which is going to be our source name. Actually, it's source name 0. And then we need to do, let's create a new cursor. And this is going to be, we need to pull it from the source. So we're going to do, let's do this, the proc cursor equals source. And then we're going to do proc cursor dot execute. And that's going to be based off of the source query. We could have simplified that a little bit. We're going to go with that. And then we're going to do a fetch all. Oh, that's probably what it is it's a fetch all. We could probably do fetch one. But we'll do fetch all. So let's do source results equals that. And then we're going to just print source results 0. And let's see how that looks. Scanning, we missed one. Oh, we didn't close that out. There we go. Let's try that again. Can only concatenate a string. Oh, it's not source name. Oh, that is source name. Oops. Oh, we changed that. So let's call it source proc name. And then that's going to be source proc name. That's source name. That's source proc name. See, that's why we have to watch out. Sometimes you get name collisions and you don't even notice it until it's too late. Let's see. That should be everybody. So now let's try it. And so now, okay, so now we're seeing stuff. So we're going to see like create procedure while loop. And then it has this string. And so that is, I wonder if that's, oh, because that's row 0, 0. So let's try that. And there we go. So if we look at, let's see, here we go, like procedure while loop, this is the source for it. If we look to procedure temp table, then we get this thing. Now the thing we're going to run into is, let's take a look at, if we look at these, let's see, simple execution, simple continue. Let me see if I can get, because I think what we're going to run into is we're going to have some that don't have variables that we're going to have to look at. Let's see if it's going to show me, it's not going to show me, let's see. Can I reconnect? And let's see. Let's look at multiplier. I think multiplier will give us one. So if we go look at multiplier here, what we're going to see is multiplier. And this is one where we gave it parameters because there's an X, a Y, and a Z parameter. But if you look at the source, we don't have that. And so when we come back next time, that is where we're going to start. is we're going to go figure out what are our parameters, because right now with multiplier, and actually with like while loop, this is what it would look like, is that we could do, if we come down here, it would be something like create procedure, while loop, and I think it's as. Actually, I think we just do it this way. Let's see if that works. I don't think that's quite it. Let's see. Let's go create a procedure real quick and see what it looks like. So if I do create procedure, actually, let's do it on local. And if I come into here, store procedures, I'm going to create a procedure called delete me, execute, very simple procedure. It's not going to show it to me. Darn it. So we're going to have to go, we'll go take a look at that stuff later. Let me delete me. And we'll start taking a look at that next time around, because we're going to have, we're going to go in and create it. And it actually is something along these lines, but we're going to have a little bit of work we're going to do. And like I said, that'll be next time. So I think I've given you enough to think about right now. Go ahead and go out there and have yourself a great day, a great week, and we will talk to you next time.